Here we're up, we're doing some maintenance on the TD9, so had these couple of fittings in here that have been leaking fuel, so they've been resoldered up the other ends underneath there as well. See, this freaking one here is starting to got a leak now. It's a bit of a shame. I'll sort that out. So I've had, there's a starter solenoid up here, so I've had that off, made a new contact for in there, so that's all working a lot better. Used to have to really pull down on the handle to get it going. Yeah, International TD9, diesel side there, fuel tank, injectors, diesel system this side, and of course carburetor and everything on this side. Changeover, flap of the manifold here. That's a bit tricky. That's one thing to definitely check. That flaps going over centre. That'll give you a few problems trying to get them running on petrol. Had another oil leak in there for the feed for the oil pressure gauge, so that's now sorted. The main thing was I was trying to find a water leak. I've had one in this before. There was some frost plugs behind the front cover here, and they one of them was rotted right through, so it was leaking water into the timing cover, and you can still even see there's a few watermarks in the sump here where it was dripping onto there, because I think it was leaking there for a fair few years with the previous owner. Then when you have a look underneath, you can see it was just coming down, running down the timing cover, dropping out of this corner here. Recently it had another oil leak, well, sorry, a water leak into the oil. Oil went all milky again. I thought, oh yeah, here we go, another issue. That's why I've had it apart. I've pressurised the radiator to about 10 psi. Can't find any oil leaks. It's been full for about 3 days now, and it's still not dripping any water. Hasn't lost any out the radiator. But what I think's happened, so one thing I did notice when I pulled the spring off the bottom to lift the front up to get the sump off, there's a lot of water in the clutch housing here. Well, I think what's happened is when it was outside for a time last year, when my shed got squashed by a big tree, was parked slightly downhill, and I think the rainwater's come in and it's filled the clutch up, which has then overflowed through the rear main seal and into the sump. I think that's what's happened, but it's the only explanation I can come up with, because it definitely ain't leaking any water now out of the coolant system. So fingers crossed we get that sump back on and fire her up, and hopefully the oil stays clean. So fingers crossed. Alright. Good. So there's a few tricky ones in the back there. That's normally where the spring sits, is right in there. It's easy enough job. You just there's a bracket here on the ground there. You take those 6 bolts out, lift the front up, and the spring will stay behind, and then chuck a couple of blocks in each side there, and it gives you a nice good working space. You usually take the sump off and put back on. That's in. Hole fitting. Right, wrap some thread tape around that. There you go, just wrap some thread tape around that olive. Hopefully that should be enough just to fix the leak. It's good stuff, thread tape. You can twist it into a cord and make gaskets out of it. You can wrap up olives like this. It's pretty versatile stuff. If you're ever there's a bit of an emergency fix on things, it comes in pretty handy. Just be sure to not get any of it down your lines, because it'll like to get into places and clog things up. update, guys. Thread taping here didn't work, only because it actually wasn't leaking from there, it was leaking from a split in this fitting up here. I've silver soldered that up, or easy flowed that back up, and seems to have sealed, but putting this fitting back in, it's stripped on the thread on this side, so can't win some days. So yeah, we're gonna have to get a new fitting for that. It's still just dripping now, fuel's turned off, but yeah, once the shops are up, I'll get the fitting I need, and we'll try that. I didn't try making a new line, that still didn't work. Just chasing a lot of things here, but slowly getting through it. But fingers crossed the new fitting will fix that and she'll be right.